Chapter 5, Father and Son. Dixie took a few moments to respond.
Thank you, she said. That's very kind of you, Ice Heart.
The cloak blushed, his eyes taking on a red tinge along his coat. What are you doing outside? He asked. Do you like the snow?
I do,
Dixie said.
You seem to be having fun yourself.
It's awesome. Ice Heart's wings fluttered. The frozen one cast a small shower of icy shards as he flopped up to the top of a larger snowdrift. This must be the largest snowstorm ever. He flung himself off the snowdrift and crashed through the snow on the ground, sinking out of sight. After Dixie hurried over, though, his head popped up a burst of laughter. I hope it never stops. Dixie couldn't help but smile at the rambunctious foal. Made of ice or not, he acted far too similar to the foals she knew from Ponyfield to unnerve her.
Does it snow a lot where you're from?
Some, but not like this. I mean, Auntie Pousson's built me my own snow fort, but even there the snow only comes up to my knees. Izar paused for a moment. Can you tell her I was not jumping around? She says it's not proper.
Dixie winked. It'll be our secret,
she promised, and the foal burst into a huge grin. Thanks. I mean, I really tried to be all formal like Auntie wants, but it's snow. The foal shrugged helplessly. You can't be formal in snow. It's way too much fun. And you're from Philadelphia, right? I heard they have a citywide snowball fight every year. Did you ever play in it?
Yes,
said Dixie, smiling to herself, remembering how much she enjoyed galloping around with her parents and joining in the huge melee. Then something occurred to her.
Ice Heart, may I ask you something?
Sure.
How did you know who I was and where I'm from? I met your friends before and none of them did.
Dixie didn't see why Poussons would have described her to Ice Heart, but none of his friends.
Did somebody tell you about me?
Yep. I read about you in the paper, chirped the foal.
The paper?
Dixie frowned. None of the others seemed to have access to the news. Ice Heart nodded. Right after you beat the tyrant's son, I was on my own then. My mom had died, and my cousins didn't want me around after they saw what I looked like. And I was passing through a village when the sun came up at night. Every pony was scared. Then a pony showed up and said he was part of something called the Sun Cult. He said Corona wasn't going to hurt us, and that he had just come back to kill all the monsters who were hunting ponies, like Ursa and Timberwolves and Wendigo. The foal looked down. He didn't know what I was, because Mom had a special amulet made for me that made me look like other Pegasi. So he didn't say anything to me, but he told everyone that we should be happy that Corona was back, because all us monsters weren't good for anything but hurting ponies. She said she was going to get rid of us so everybody else could be happy. But then Corona got her butt kicked. The next day I saw a big picture in the paper of you and your friends. I learned that even though you're unique like me, because you got cool eyes and could see in two directions at once, you did something as awesome as fight the sun and win. Izar jumped in the air, his wings buzzed as he labored to maintain hovering a few inches above the snowdrift. That's how I knew unusual and special ponies like us could do really cool things. Like beat Corona and save Equestria. Even if some other ponies think we're monsters. He beamed. Can you really see in two directions at once? 'Cause that's awesome. As the foal bowed to the top of the higher snowdrift and looked directly into her eyes, the icy orb on the left side of his face rotated slightly, as did his flesh eye on the right. But only after a few moments he yelped and toppled over to the snow again. Ow! He said once his head poked up above the surface. I can't do it. Dixie couldn't help but giggle, even though she felt a little unnerved that the foal's hero worshiper her.
That's okay. I can't make ice like you can.
There are magic charms available to enable Pegasi to cast such spells. Just as Frequent Posey made a minor news item was he brought one from a then unknown artifact crafter, boosting that craft's mere reputation, but Dixie never attained one.
You're right. You're a wonderful pony, whatever species your father may be.
She was silent for a moment.
Your mother sounds like a very nice pony, too. She must have cared for you a lot to have that special amulet made for you.
I know, the foal nodded. She was a really good mom. He trailed off. I miss her.
What happened?
Asked Dixie. She got really sick. Then one day, they told me she died, said Ice Heart. And I had to live with my cousins. But then, one of them stole my amulet. And when they saw me looking like me, they called me a freak and chased me away. He was silent for a long moment.
So, what's the over-under on Ruby being his mother?
I'm putting 40-50. I'm not going to read ahead to find out, folks, because that'd be spoiling it. But I'm putting money on it. He just made it too obvious. Now the hits are coming in. But what? And they called me a freak. It chased me away. You're silent for a long moment. But now Auntie Poussance watches over me and she's great. She set up a home for me that's always cold. So I never had to worry about melting, even though it was warmer in Carfulong than where my family used to live. And she got me the best friends any pony could have. He grinned. Did you meet them yet? They're all unique ponies like me. Argerine's always happy. Tim's goofy. And Stream Dream's always playing water tag with me.
I met them. They're very nice ponies. Except for maybe Silver Sculptress,
thought Dixie. She tried it after Ice Heart. I was starting to hunt for Drift to Drift.
What about friends your own age? Are there any foals in the vault?
No. Auntie Poussance is looking for some. She says she has to check them very carefully to make sure they're not mean ponies. That way I never need to wear my amulet again, and no pony will ever call me a freak. Ice Heart nodded. She's the best auntie in the world. Dixie hesitated. She couldn't deny that it was good for the foal to have an environment that was suited to his unique physiology. She couldn't imagine what she'd do as he had to worry about Dinky literally melting on a hot day. But the complete lack of other foals wasn't a good thing.
Does he ever want friends your own age?
Yeah, but now they're gonna call me a freak. That's why Auntie Poussance is looking so hard. She promised me she'd do her very best to find me some more friends. Ponies who are special, like me.
Dixie frowned. I know.
But Ice Heart kept going. And Auntie Poussance always comes through. I mean, she told me she'd keep an eye out for my dad. I didn't think she could do it. But now I might actually get to meet him. The foal's face almost glowed. I can't believe I finally get to see my dad. This is the best week ever.
Meanwhile, Dinky's never known her father.
Dixie shook her head to clear from the thought. So you can worry about that in Ice Heart's isolation layer.
We don't know if we'll be able to see your dad, she gossiped him. We have to make sure it's safe.
I know, but I'm sure he'll be safe. He's my dad. He probably just wants to see me. Ice Heart grinned. I hope he says he'll come live in the vault with me. That'd be awesome. But even if he doesn't, he smiled wistfully. I'd love to see him just once. The two were silent for a moment before Ice Heart asked, So why did you come outside? Did you want to play in the snow?
Actually, I was looking for you.
Oh, Ice Heart blushed. I guess every pony else got worried. Sorry, I just couldn't help it. I saw snowdrifts bigger than me and I just had to play in them.
It's alright, said Dixie. Why don't I come back inside and find my friends and yours?
An idea struck her as she kneeled down.
Would you like to ride on my back?
The foal hesitated. A lot of ponies don't want me to ride on them because they'll get cold.
I'm from Philadelphia. Dixie winked again. I don't mind the cold.
Ice Heart grinned from ear to ear and floated over to Dixie's back. When he landed, Dixie felt a jolt of cold, even though her thick winter jacket. But forced herself not to react to it. Awesome, said Ice Heart. I'm riding a hero. Thanks, Miss Dew.
Dixie is fine,
said the male mare, turning to head back inside.
Shall we?
That it is, said Stream Dream, just from one foreleg as Ice Heart entered the grand ballroom on Dixie's back. The sea pony was in a huge wheeled bathtub, being pulled by the ever-stoic Bones. The other 4 vault ponies Dixie had met were also in the room. I knew he would turn out sooner than later. Yep, said Orangine. She trotted over to the nearest door and tried down the hallway. Hey, Elements! Come back here! Ice Heart's here! Having fun out there, chump? Said Tim, coalescing to his pony form with Smoky Shadow into a corner. Make some snow ponies. Ice Heart said, Suka said, I was gonna, but Dixie said I would probably come inside. She's right, said Silver Sculptress. Her statue had now taken the overfall of a pony, though Dixie didn't identify who just yet. It's past your bedtime, Ice Heart. But I'm not tired, The foal's protests were cut short by a large yawn. Arjun giggled. Come on, Daisy. I'll get you a nice cold bath and a frosty glass of orange juice. Then Tim will read you a story, okay? The large doors to the ballroom opened as Trixie and the other elements returned. They stopped fast as soon as they entered the room, and Dixie knew, with uncomfortable certainty, they were all trying to process Ice Heart's unusual looks. She turned to them and smiled.
This is Ice Heart, my string Poussin's ward and the child of Wendigo we're here to meet. So he said, in Ice Heart, these are my friends, the other elements of harmony. This is Lana Heartstrings, Carrot Top, Raindrops, Charlie, and the great and powerful Dixie!
Interjected Trixie. She beamed as her horn glowed as illusionary fireworks appeared around her. Dixie, who knew Trixie well, could hear how her voice was just slightly unsteady, as she still worked how to deal with Ice Heart's appearance. Trixie's so many skills seemed to keep her unease in check.
It is great and wonderful honor to meet you, a young Ice Heart.
The foal giggled.
You're silly.
Yeah, she is, drawled Raindrops. Let me put up with her anyways.
Charlie turned to the other vault ponies.
Do you have any trained teachers in the vault? If not, as an educator, I'd be happy to design a curriculum for them. School? Yuck.
Ice Heart stuck out a tongue that contained thick veins of bluest ice.
Auntie Poussin's got me a private tutor instead. He knows everything.
The foal grinned. He knows all the big battles in history, and all the important ponies, the best games, the really tasty recipes.
Carrot Top tilted her head. Does he know any good ones? I've been trying to add some new dishes to my stall and...
Carrots, are you kidding? Asked Lyra. If I were him, I'd eat nothing but ice cream.
You already eat nothing but ice cream, said Raindrops.
Not true, I ate a cracker once.
Lyra twisted her face in a comical grimace. It was yucky. I think I'll stick with ice cream. Ice Heart landed as Dixie lowered down and pelted us into the ground. The foal ran over to Silver Sculptress.
They're fun, he declared. Auntie Poussin's got some real ponies to come up with us.
Of course he did,
said Sculptress. And Dixie noticed the tone of kindness in her voice that had not been present previously.
She knows what she's doing. It always does.
She held Ice Heart climb onto her back. The foal seemed careful to stay away from her atrophied wings.
Thank you for helping us find Ice Heart,
she told the elements, sounding a little more at ease with them than she had before.
Now I think it's time we went to bed. Until tomorrow.
Dixie glanced at Trixie, wondering if she could contest the dismissal, but Elizabeth just nodded.
All right. Good night, every pony.
She turned, and the elements followed her out the room. No pony spoke until they were in their suite.
They're what? They're sweet. They're sweet. They're sweet. You're cute too!
A hub of 6 bedrooms connecting to a central living room and lounge area. Dixie sat on a couch, noticing how soft it was, and how it seemed to be ready to swallow her up, while the others took seats elsewhere in the room.
Well,
asked Trixie,
what do you think?
I think this hotel needed a better decorator, said Lyra. She was looking around at the corner of the room, where a painting of a tall, muscular gargoyle sitting on a diamond-studded throne was hanging on the wall. "'Cause it's kinda creeping me out."
"Second it,"
saying Raindrops.
"I like it,"
said Carrot Top, flopping to another couch and grin as she sank into it.
I want one of these for the home.
Trixie sighed.
I meant about Ice Heart and the others.
She turned to Dixie.
You actually talked with Ice Heart, right? What do you think? Well, began Dixie. I mean, he seems very happy. He seemed excited, curious, energetic, and technically loved Poussins and hanging out with his other friends. I don't think he's being mistreated in any real sense. But I do think it's probably he doesn't have any friends his own age.
That might not be Poussins' fault, said Carrot Top, if the other foes are scared of him.
But that's just it. There are no other foes in the, vault.
Dixie frowned.
He said Poussins won't let any others in because he's the only other special pony that lets into the vault. So they'll know what it's like to be different and we'll call him a freak. But with all her power, I'm sure she can find some other foes, even if they're not hybrids or double ponies or descendants of famous tyrants, who won't be mean to Ice Heart.
That might not work for Ice Heart, said Raindrops. Remember how Banty hid his lower wings as soon as he realized we weren't the staff? I'll bet a lot of those ponies really don't want normal ponies to know about them. Ice Heart might be one of them.
Then Poussins should be trying to find regular ponies who can help them get over it, said Charlie. Unless he plans to keep them shut in their community his whole life, he's going to need to learn to deal with other ponies eventually. She frowned. I'm sorry, Trixie. I know you wanted me to give her the benefit of the doubt, but nothing about this feels right. She's got a whole bunch of ponies that she can fence that are only safe under her care. And she's managed to convince them to dedicate everything they do or think to her. She's treating them like zoo exhibits.
And congratulations, Shirley! You just figured out every single thing wrong with this picture! Go, take your award.
We need to do something. Kershaw shrugged.
But if they're happy, how could we take that away from them?
She looked away. I mean, I never want to move to the vault. But if some rich pony offered to make sure I didn't need to worry about money, I patronize them a lot. I don't think anything's wrong with that. But if that pony convinced you they were your only friend in the world, that would be wrong. Even if you yourself didn't know any better, said Shirley. Look, I'm not saying Poussons can't give patronage to artists he likes. Luna only knows how many petitions I've sent to Counterlot asking for more arts funding. And I'm not saying she shouldn't protect ponies who are genuinely discriminated against. But it doesn't matter how much money she gives them or how well she protects them. She's wrong to make them think she's the greatest and most important pony in their world. Not to mention the only one that can keep them safe. It's manipulative, and I think we should talk to Luna about it. She glanced to her left. What do you think, Raindrops?
Meh.
Yeah, old pony. Eat a slice of buttered Prince bread for the minibar.
Meh,
replied Shirley. You think the vault is acceptable?
Oh no, it's completely ridiculous,
said Raindrops. She gulped down another bite of bread.
It's Poussons admitting that the only way she can get ponies to like her is to bribe them to the point of paying for her literally everyone they have. But hey, if the vault ponies want to spend all their time worshipping Poussons in exchange for her bits, more power to them. Not my problem.
Trixie turned to Lyra, who giggled. Honestly, I kinda like the idea of an artist colony. Waking up every morning and having nothing to do but play music, or bake candies, or play music while your wonderful mayor fur bakes candies. I can get into that.
Unless he doesn't let you bring Bonbon.
That's Trixie. Lyra's grin faded. Then I wouldn't like it. Buying means more to me than the finest concertos, she said. But still, if a pony doesn't have friends or family they're attached to, I think an artist's retreat is the kind of thing that could be a great environment. I mean, the baker stuff was almost as good as Bonbons, and that novelist is a bestseller. Maybe artists could really flourish there.
It does sound good too, to be true. Which means it probably is, said Trixie. No ponies heard of this place. So either no ponies ever wanted to leave the vault, or Poussons didn't let them. I mean, it's Poussons. I wouldn't be surprised if she made them sign contracts saying if they leave, they owe her for all the bits she's ever spent on them. Plus interest!
Trixie set her eyes for a moment.
I'm not saying for sure that anything's wrong here, but I got a bad feeling about it. There's one thing I learned from studying politics under Luna, is that utopias don't exist. There's always a catch, and either we don't know what it is, or the fault ponies don't.
Wait. The almost all turned to Dixie. Yes, asked Trixie.
I know I said I was uneasy about Ice Heart not knowing any pony his own needs, and I still am. And some of the other things you said are also disturbing, like how they're so fixing in my eyes.
She paused.
But as long as every pony's happy and healthy, and as long as they can leave if they want, I don't think Luna will let Poussons keep them against their will. I don't think we should get involved.
You should,
Dixie shrugged.
Maybe this is just because of her a lot of ponies telling me how I should be raising thinking. How I shouldn't leave her home alone so often. How I need to marry so Dinky has 2 adults in her life. How I should hire a full-time tutor to teach her magic or developments instead. None of them had any idea what they were talking about. But I don't feel right telling Poussons that she's caring for her ward or the other ponies wrong.
He tried over to the window in the lounge area. Outside, she could see a few houses of Gnome as they were steadily buried by the unending snowfall.
We don't know how to care for a half one to go. Whether or not he's in danger of melting, what he eats, what happens if he gets sick. We don't know what their real situations are. Bounty seemed scared of us, and Silver's wings were shriveled. Maybe they have good reasons for wanting to hurry away.
She turned back to the other ponies.
I think it's bad that Ice Heart has no friends his own age. Maybe we should talk to Poussons about it. But at this point, I really don't feel comfortable going to Luna and saying that Poussons is a bad mother or guardian. After all, I've made mistakes too. Well, Dixie,
You may not, but I do. Bye!
Trixie glanced around the other ponies for a moment before her eyes gazed at Dixie.
Alright, she said at last. We'll play it like before. Keep our eyes and ears open. If you learn anything really bad, we'll tell Luna later. But for now, we'll accept the vault and all the rest of it.
Steve was still for a moment.
And we won't complain to Poissons about it either. Again, I'd really rather not have yet another viceroy mad at us.
She smiled weakly.
We want to have to go through that a second time. Right.
Agreed, said Lyra, who proceeded to yawn prodigiously. And with that, I think it's my bedtime. Good night, everybody.
Right.
Trixie began to trot to her own room.
We should all get some rest. After all, tomorrow, we're talking to a Wendigo.
Dixie couldn't sleep. Part of it was the bed, she thought. It was almost as soft as a cloud, and while it felt wonderful, it also felt wrong. Her bed at home wasn't a luxury bed by any stretch of the imagination, but it was hers, reasonably soft, relatively comfortable, wonderfully warm on a cold day when the fire was banked and Dinky was cuddled up next to her. This strange bed, though, was sort of superior in every way that could be measured, just wasn't hers. But most of it, she thought, was Dinky. She missed her little filly. Normally, she could go on missions for a few days without worrying like this. Most of the other missions she had involved involved her being obligated to determine whether another mare was a satisfactory mother. And after so much time spent about thinking all Poisson's faults in that area, she found herself thinking about her own. How she had almost ruined the burgeoning relationship between Dinky and her half-sister Sparkler. How she had almost ruined Dinky's chances at going to Sharpwinny. How she wasn't home enough. How she couldn't afford to cook the healthiest possible meals. How sometimes Dinky acted up, and then cried when Dixie reprimanded her. With a whicker of annoyance, she got up and walked to the door. There was no point, she told herself, in thinking on such things. She was a fine mother, a perfectly adequate one, and on the rare occasions when she let Dinky down, her friends always helped her fix her mistakes. She would go on a quick walk to burn off her nervous energy, and she would return to her bed and sleep the night away like she would have done from the very beginning. Her midnight stroll took her through some of the upper passages of the hotel. She passed dozens of rooms and some large paintings and sculptures, and most of which seemed like to depict kings and emperors of various species. Some of them were almost normal, like the ones Princess Cadence of Cavella sitting on a brilliant throne, while the bound generals of Vivet's Aldelian army knelt to submission, while others, like the strange three-headed monster, was sat on a throne of lesser monsters. All which looked like the history book depictions of the monsters from beyond the stars that Princess Luna was said to have driven off a long time ago, or more unearthing. Wait. A three-headed monster sitting on a throne? Is that a King Ghidorah reference? Still, the exercise helped calm her, and she quickly found her body begin to welcome the idea of sleeping, even in a strange bed. She put her hoof on one last hallway door before returning to her room, but like the others, this one did not move. Blinking, Dixie looked to the side and saw a sign indicating she was entering the west wing, the one that Poisson's blocked off. Well, she thought she was too tired for any more sneaking around. She turned around and saw a light coming from underneath the door of the bedroom nearest the locked wing. Dixie frowned. The elements were clear on the other side of the hotel. Poisson's entourage and staff were supposed to be in the locked wing, and there was nobody else authorized in the hotel. Was there a trespasser? She hesitated. She put one hoof to the door and knocked.
Hello?
Ice Heart? Is that you? Came an unfamiliar voice from inside.
Ice Heart, but
Dixie remembered orange tree and silver sculpture saying Ice Heart had a seventh friend, one who tended to stay hidden, even beyond the usual standards of the vault. This, she thought, might be that pony.
No,
she said in a warm voice she commands.
My name is Dixie too, and I'm an element of kindness. May I come in?
No.
Dixie hesitated. I just wanted to say...
But then her voice cut off, as she felt herself being enveloped in magic. She squeaked as she was pushed back against the opposite wall. I do not want to talk to you, Dame Dixie. Her voice, now much harsher than before. Leave me alone. The light fans from underneath the door. Dixie deliberated trying again, but decided against it. Kindness had its limits, and the pony's rude behavior had used up all of hers. She was going to go back to bed.
Still,
she thought as she returned to the element's chorus,
their hostility, it wasn't normal. Did Placence tell her something bad about me? Or does she dislike any pony from beyond the vault? Or...
Her thoughts trailed off as she lay down in her bed again. She would, she told herself, think about it the next morning. In the meantime, sleep was what mattered.